So here's a little quick video on using the Excel spreadsheet to make graphs for students, and particularly double bar graphs. So I'm going to start off making a little spreadsheet. I'm going to have some names of some people. I use the tab button to go sideways across the spreadsheet. I'm going to call it year 1 and then tab over to year 2. Hit return, it brings it back down, and I'm going to use names Al and Sam, Peter, and John. And those are going to be my 4 people. I'm now going to put in some data. So in year 1, Al had 12, and in year 1, Sam had 15. I'm just going to randomly making some numbers up here. Year 3 had 18, and year 33. And then in year 2, Al went up, so Al went to 20. Sam went up. Peter went up. And John went down for no apparent reason. That's what we're going to use as our data. So this is going to be the same as our data that we would find in a normal data table, and we can put as many or as few as we want in here. So this is what we're going to do next. We're going to go to the top up here to the insert, and I'm going to insert column, and so that's what we're going to make. So I'm going to column, and I'm going to choose, we have, as you can see, a wide range of choices. So we're going to use just a regular 2D, we can make it kind of 3D looking, but a regular 2D kind of graph, not the stacked ones, but we're going to use it like that. And let the computer do that for us. I'm sorry, I first have to highlight what I want to graph, and then I go to insert and my 2D graph. And bada bing, bada boom, it's just that fast. So we automatically have a key over here on our left side. We have our names that were down our left-hand column, down at the bottom, and it automatically chooses a scale up the side and it graphs it for us. It's that fast. However, we might want to do some labeling and some things, so that's what we're going to do next. So up here, now that we have a chart, we go to the top right hand corner, and you see chart tools are highlighted. We have some options now: design, layout, and format. If I choose the design, we have some options up here. We have the gray, we have different colors, we have different chart styles that we can use, but I'm kind of happy the way this one's looking just right now. We've got some fancy schmancy kind of layout things over here, but we're just going to avoid those for now. Under layout, this is where I'm going to do my work. I want to take a look and have a title for my chart, so I go over here to chart title. It highlights. Right now it doesn't have a display. I want to have a title. I can either have it above so it never runs into my table, or have it along the top. And so I'll put it above the chart, and then it says chart title. And up here at the top, entrance place up here along the top, I'm going to put my title, and this is going to be year 1/2 growth. That's what I want to use my title, so I hit, and there it has my title. The next thing we say we want to have is some axes labels, so I go over to my layout, and I go to my axes titles, and I want to take my primary horizontal one, and I want to put my title below it. So there's my axes title down here, and these are going to be my salespeople. And hit return, and now salespeople shows up. I go to my layout. Again, I go to my axes title. I want to do my vertical axes, and I want it written sideways. So I'm going to use my rotated sided title. And again, here it is here, axes title, but that's not what I want to call it. I want to call it, what do I want to say? Let's call it in sales. And in brackets, I want to use the units that I want to do here. So I'm going to do it in thousands of dollars. So all these numbers are going to be in thousands of dollars. So I can put my unit that I want to use in there as well. And so there it is, sales in thousands of dollars. So Al here in year 1, he sold $12,000. And year 2, he sold $20,000. So I'm rating it in thousands of dollars. You can use centimeters or meters or whatever units you want. But again, you want to make sure that you indicate on your label what is the units that you're measuring it in, or you're scaling it in, be it centimeters or inches or meters or yards or dollars or whatever it is your units you're measuring. So there it is. That's a nice looking graph based off of our data. That's the quick and easy way of doing it. And the computer calculated what would be the scale that would look nice on this graph. I do have the option of changing it myself. Again, I go over to my chart tools, I go to layout, I go to my axes, because this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about my vertical axes, and right now is the default axis that comes up. I could go down here and I have some options of what I want to do. Right now my ticks are going up by 5s, and I can tell it to modify that. So I go to layout, I go to my axes, I go to my vertical, I go down to a more primary. I can choose now. Right now, you see everything's kind of automatically set, and it looks nice. But if I wanted to, I could say, I don't want it going up by 5s. I want it going up by 10s instead. And I just close that off. And you can see now that it changes my graph. My scale, it goes up by 10s instead of up by 5s. And you can play around with whatever range that you want each of my tick marks or each of my intervals to be added, to be labeled as. So that's totally acceptable as to whatever way you want to do it. Most of the time I find that the default one works very well, so I don't really play around with it too much. Nice, quick, easy, fast way of making graphs. Very few people draw their graphs by hand now, and this is the way that a lot of people produce their graphs. And as you can see with the layouts, there's all sorts of things that you can do with them and change. You can show grid lines, you can not have grid lines. There's all sorts of ways that you can modify what the graph looks like. Just a quick little video on using the Excel to make graphs.